If you like what we do here over at Aircrew Interview and would like to support us and help us grow, you can head over to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/aircrewinterview, where you can donate monthly. We have different tiers ranging from $1 per month right up to $25, with each tier offering different rewards. All the monthly donations greatly help us to continue creating these video and audio interviews, so please take a look and I thank you in advance. Enjoy.
This was it started around the 24th of March, 1970. There was a lot of activity going on. The MiGs were up flying around, they were coming out over the water, and there was other issues going on with them chasing after the unarmed reconnaissance airplanes. That was another airplane we had on the carriers too, which was the Vigilante, they had it rigged for doing ground photographing, stuff like that. So anyway, there was a lot of activity, and my backseater, Steve Barkley, bless his heart, he was the schedules officer. And I kept trying to get him to schedule us on one thing. And all the people who were going out flying were the skipper, the XO, the maintenance officer, the ops officer. They were all leading the flights. And the younger guys weren't getting a chance to come out because they're setting up, and there was a lot of activity. We had to strengthen our combat air patrol going on up in the top of the Gulf. And then the particular day, the 28th of March, the day before, the 27th of March, our sister squadron, VF-143, the Pukin Dogs, or the Sans Reproach, they went in and they screwed up their intercept and didn't bag anything. The next day, the 28th of March, the closest I got to being up on the flight deck, I was the Alert 5. That was as close as I could get. Everybody else, the skipper, the XO, everybody was airborne, the maintenance officer, da-da-da-da-da. I was Alert 5. Alert 5 meant that I sat in my airplane for 2 hours, able to launch in 5 minutes or less. All of a sudden, on the flight deck, the XO was late coming in, and his airplane was on the catapult, and they pushed him off and they shouted, "Launch the Alert 5." And that was me. Off and running. Joined up. They asked me how my weapon was. I said my weapon is sweet. And then I got up and I joined with the air group commander as his wingman. And they give us vectors in and 2 MiGs coming out.
At this point, what payload were you carrying?
I had 3 Sidewinders and 2 Sparrows and 3 tanks. And so I was burning the wing tanks down. Try to get them empty, because that was the first thing that I could jettison, would be my wing tanks. So we were coming in at about 20,000 feet. The MiGs were up around 25,000 feet. I spotted them, and in the flight, you can have 2 leaders. You got a military leader and a tactical leader. And one of the things they taught you in Top Gun was to be the tactical leader. And I took charge, called the flight, called the turns, got us engaged with the MiGs. I got slow on the first turn. At the top, I was down around 330 or something, and so the MiG went past me and down. I slid it down underneath them and went all the way down, and I got back up to around 650 knots, and climbing back up into the fight. And he went back up high. He didn't speed up nearly as much as I did. So I'm coming back up, and I met him at the top. But coming up, Barkley says, "Tanks." Reach down, blow the tanks. Up we go, and there. I join them at the top. The MiG is coming down in a right-hand turn. I'm coming in a right-hand turn, and I'm sliding in behind him. And as I went in behind him, I think he thought I was going to overshoot, and he reversed. And I reversed with him. Got a Sidewinder tone. Barkley's in the back seat. He's shouting, "Shoot, shoot, shoot." I shot him. And then every war movie I've ever seen, you shoot the guy, and he blows up.
Yeah.
Okay? The missile came off at the lead lag, goes off to the inside, comes back to the outside, comes back up, big puff of gray smoke, and that's what you get when the Sidewinder blows up, explodes. He didn't blow up. The airplane, the MiG didn't blow up. I was devastated. I went into what they call as a high yo-yo because I was overtaking them really fast, and I shot almost at mid-range. And I went right up vertical, and then as I went up, because now what I'm doing is I'm saving energy, and saving tactical advantage because I'm on his flight path, but I'm doing a high yo-yo. He flops over and the fire is just coming out of him. I rolled over the top again, and I shot him again. And that was how I wanted to make damn certain I got him. So down he went, and he never got out. And then by now, the wingman had got away, and CAG was chasing the wingman, and I called CAG, and he says, we'll RTB, we'll go feet wet. So that was it. The engagement was over with. I got my MiG. The only thing I could say is when we got out over the water, I said, did you see him? Yes. I'm confirming your kill. It was great. And that was it. Now, we've got another hour and 20 minutes before we can go back and land because the ship's not ready for us because we're just swanning about. And I can see that I don't quite have enough fuel to be at minimum fuel for landing. It's going to be really close. So I said, well, we need a tanker. And so they got us a tanker, and we tanked. We took out a couple 1,000 pounds and stuff. But that was it. And it was a cloudy day, no low pass on the ship, anything. And you just landed, and it was, then everything, of course, the whole ship is alive. And the briefings and the debriefings were absolutely wonderful. And the skipper of the carrier, he brought up a bottle of brandy.
Very nice.
To give us, we'd all had a little drink, brandy. And that was really cool. And that was it. And as a result of that, it was a classic dogfight from a Top Gun point of view. That we did everything absolutely right. We shared information and so forth. And they took that kill, the whole details on my kill, back to Washington, and they got Top Gun set up as a proper full command.
From that?
From that.
Wow.
We went on then. I got the first kill as a Top Gun graduate. When they went back in 1972, when Nixon sent everybody in to get the POWs loose, there was 5 or 6 Top Gun guys that got kills in that. And we just went on to acquit ourselves. And it was very, very good. And the Top Gun is still going today. It's called Fighter Weapons School now. But it's still Top Gun.
Still Top Gun. I think that's what everyone knows it as, yeah.
Yeah, and it was very good. In the movie, of course, all of the flying, that people don't often realize if they've never been in the game, all of the flying that they were doing with Maverick and they're maneuvering against one another, that's real. Not flying upside down over the bad guy. That's not real. Okay, but the rest of the stuff was for real. The maneuver where he pulled up in Top Gun and reduced power and lost his speed, that's a kill self maneuver. If that doesn't work, you've just given away all your energy, and the guy's still behind you, and he's just going to shoot you easier. You know, so it's one of those things that's one of the flying upside down over the top of the bad guy, and then that maneuver to push the guy ahead of you. Those are the 2 bad things in that entire movie.
Looks good in the film, though.
Yeah, it looks good in the film. Yes.
So how long did that engagement last?
Oh, I did 2.5 turns with the guy. I'd say probably 6 or maybe 7 minutes.
Did it feel like that at the time?
Oh, no.
No,
I had bruises on both hips from jumping up and down afterwards. But it just seemed so fast. And we'd practiced that stuff. Steve Barkley and I had practiced a lot on engagements and stuff. And so our crew discipline was very good. No shouting, nothing, it just very calm. And you'd think we'd been doing it 100 times instead of just the first time. But they were really, really disciplined. And the voice, listening to the voice tapes afterwards, very calm. You wouldn't know that we were right in the middle of a dogfight for the first time in my whole life. So, and it's just all because of the practice, because of Top Gun, because of the practice, and then maybe some just, without sounding too cocky, just a good mental state and discipline, But it was a marvelous day, 28th of March, 1970.
Something you'll never forget, I'm sure.
Never, no. And Steve and I exchanged emails or telephone calls on that date each year.